Sorry, I was completely out last week. I'm finally starting to feel almost human again, slowly but surely. When we got back from Florida, I was pretty sick. Sadly, immunocompromised, never a good thing. Worse than just my normal common cold, and so yeah, it was a no go. It was just a no go. I couldn't really just get up and move and come to a show. So I apologize for no show last week. To prepare for Talladega, and or talk about Texas. Um, yeah, it took everything to even just lay there and watch Talladega last weekend. So it was rough. Glad to be back though on the mend and feeling better. No clue what took me out though. I'm filling myself with water. Just trying to keep the body hydrated versus coffee and those other things. But let's talk about Talladega and all the fun things and crazy things that did happen. The big one literally waited until the last lap. Literally. And then, but we did have some other crazy accidents that happened. Eric Jones and the Toyotas coming out of pit stops and insane. So we have plenty of other things to talk about. Ford was hoping to, get their first win, or, just really starting to get their motivation going, and they were hoping to be moving forward with this coming into Talladega. They won the pole. They were really looking forward to having the win. And it looks like they were going to get the win there for a little while. Michael McDowell looked like he was going to get the win until all chaos hit. And that blocking, as we know, at Talladega is either really good or really bad. You can't have both. You get one or the other. You get a good push or a bad push. You get bumped in the right rear, you're probably going to the wall. So it's either really good or really bad. There is no in between. You get fuel saving or all in. And that's Talladega. That's Daytona nowadays too. Which is part of, what I like. I do like that we did see 3-wide racing. We did have some drivers that were like, I'm gonna throw it out there. We had BJ McLeod up front. I'm like, excuse me, sir, where did you come from? Like, we never, ever really see BJ McLeod up front. Ever. And here he comes. Hi, look at me. Excuse me. What? What are you doing? Where'd you come from? Don't get me wrong. I know BJ McLeod has some great skills. He has a great history behind him. But just not something that overall we're used to seeing. So to see him come all the way up to the front, I was just like, holy smokes. I wasn't prepared for that. I will have to say, heads up driving to him when he felt something go completely wrong with his car, aka I think he ran out of gas or something went wrong with a fuel line or something along those lines. He got on further over and like scraped the wall and moved backwards to not take anybody out. So I have to give him the heads up driving there to not take anybody out. He could have 100% took out somebody, and he didn't. So I have to give him the credit where credit's due. Super proud of him and doing that and just hanging in there and showing what, an unsponsored car can do if, given the chance to do it. And I was like, okay. So good job, BJ McLeod. Was super proud to see that happening. Sad to see kind of the way it ended for you. Because you were definitely all out there to start with and showing the way. I'm trying to see where he ended up finishing at Talladega. So give me 1 second. I'm getting all kinds of things about the draft. Shout out to the guys. While I was watching Talladega, the guys were doing taping their draft show. So and their draft show went live earlier this week. So if you didn't get a chance to, go back and watch that. Because they did a great job putting everything together for it. I don't even see him on this list. Yeah, so I'm not even seeing him on this list for whatever reason. I think these are just charter teams. Sadly. We had so many crazy, the ending was so crazy. That there was just no. Oh, here it is. He was credited with the 37th position. Because of the wreck. So I'm like, where is he? Because I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to go back and look to see where everybody ended up finishing after the wreck, due to just the sheer craziness of everything at the end. We did have Austin Cindric win stage 1, and Joey Logano win stage 2. Hence why the Fords were really thinking, hey, we've got a good thing going on here. We're making great progress, but yeah, that wasn't the thing to watch. I also have to hand it to Kyle Larson. He served his pass through penalty, got behind, but was able to catch back up eventually, and be able to get back, keep his lap type thing, and do what he needed to do to, keep with the overall draft. So, which is difficult when you're by yourself. That bites. Like having to do a pass-through penalty by yourself at a super speedway at pit road speed. Nope, I'm good. No, thank you. That's penalty. That's a super penalty right there. For anyone, but it's one of those things where you know what the rules are, and everybody was that needed to be ejected got it ejected, and that's, you gotta play by the rules or get busted. We did have, like I said, the wreck that took Eric Jones out, his car out. Also had Bubba Wallace and several other Toyotas in it, because Toyota had quite a few cars together, because multiple of them were right all together. Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek all came together. They, got enough fuel to make it to the end. They were hoping to get to the front, and that was overall the goal. They had it pedal to the floor, trying to catch back up with the group. But this is when the first chaos truly happened. John Hunter Nemechek, it's a racing accident. John Hunter Nemechek pushed Bubba Wallace into Eric Jones entering turn 3. And Bubba Wallace basically got in the right rear of Eric Jones, and they both lost control of the cars. And Eric Jones slammed hard, super hard, into the outside wall. I've heard the audio from that. It was shared on Twitter or X, however you want to. And yeah, no. I don't think I could listen to that again, because that was brutal, hearing Eric Jones say how he felt in the car. John Hunter Nemechek also slipped down and clipped, Denny Hamlin. Wallace, Eric Jones, and of course Hamlin all ended their day right there. John Hunter Nemechek was able to go back out. He finished 33rd, but had quite a few laps down. And as we do know as well, Eric Jones was treated and released initially from the Care Center in the middle of the infield, and he did go back, and then later went to a local hospital for additional treatment and review of the crash and the incident that happened. So we'll touch on a little bit more of that here as we go. But listening to that audio, the impact, it was very hard, very rough on him. He was very short, very clipped on the radio to his team. And a- it's one thing, and I understand why the TV professionals did it the way they did. Yes, the window net was down. It's a good sign. That's, the driver's indication as much as possible that they're okay as they can be. And they handle those situations differently. After the wreck that Dale Earnhardt Sr. had. And a lot of fans that have been with the NASCAR circuit for a while. It's just one of those. That one was rough as well to watch. We saw how they've handled them differently with Ryan Newman and Ryan Preece's accidents similar to those. So do I think that they've gotten the handle perfectly right on them yet? No. Do I think that they're kind of getting there? Yes. Do I think that we as fans feel like we are required to know everything immediately? Sometimes I do think we do ask a little much to know, because they make themselves so available to us, which we love and we enjoy and we're thankful for. But at the same time, sometimes you have to step back a minute and remember that they're people too. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned, that they're people. They're just like you and I. They just race cars for a living. So even though sometimes I don't want to remember that. I'm like, oh wow, that's so-and-so. I still freak out sometimes when I'm sitting there in the media center and one of them walks in and I'm like, I'm so stunned. I'm so shocked. And I'm like, my husband's like, take a deep breath. And I'm like, but, I was like, Becca, take a deep. He does the same thing though when it comes to his football. So I understand both sides of that and I see it. We, as a whole, between media and as fans, have to find a balance. So we'll get there, though. I know we will. We get down to the end. And this is where I really think Michael McDowell is like, is he going to win another race? This would be so good for that team. It will show how much the Alliance has helped that team too. He is blocking left and right though. And I'm like, ooh. I'm gonna tighten this imaginary seatbelt I got on my couch. Cause I'm like, something's gonna happen. And then we get down to, 2 to go. And I'm like, well, the big one still hasn't really happened. And then the white flag comes out. I was like, oh boy, the big one still hasn't happened. And then here it happens. We have that final block by Michael McDowell. We have the shot that Tyler Reddick makes to win and pull just in front of Brad Keselowski to get that win. because I don't know. I can't say for certain. From my perspective, from what I was watching, I didn't see where the caution was thrown. So I don't know. And then everything behind us is going crazy. We have Corey LaJoy riding the wall, which is, you're not supposed to do, Corey. And we got cars going everywhere. It's just melee. I'm like, well, there's the big one. To the point I was like, I don't know where anybody finished after that. We did have people that actually cross the checkered line. But again, did the caution come out? Or did we just leave it green for people to cross the finish line? And then everybody else will figure out where you finished if you didn't cross the checkered line. I didn't understand that one. That one is still a bewilderment to me. So the final one is the one that I had to find. Our BJ McLeod went on. They put out after modifications. It's like, I'm not even gonna try. We'll just go with right now. Our winner is going to be Tyler Reddick. He did go through inspection. He did become our official winner. And then that was the cutest thing, though. Hold on. Before I at least do the top 10. The cutest thing was Bo and Michael Jordan. I'm not gonna lie. That was adorable. However, Tyler Reddick, I need you to educate your kid. And yes, I said educate instead of educate. I really need you to teach your kid who Michael Jordan is. I know people gonna fight me on this, and that's okay. But seriously, like the GOAT of basketball. Yes, I know there's LeBron James. But of my time, when I actually watched basketball, Michael Jordan was the GOAT. And to me, he will always be the GOAT. And let me not forget Kobe. May he rest in peace. So, before other people come and fight me, I won't forget to mention those people. However, for me, the GOAT is and always will be Michael Jordan. The end. And Chicago Bulls, in that case, when he played for them. So the finishing order on top 10 was Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Alex Bowman, Anthony Alfredo, William Byron, Todd Gilliland, Daniel Hemrick, and Harrison Burton. Which I have to say, Harrison, I feel like this is the first super speedway I haven't seen you crash out of yet. So great job. And great, wonderful job. That's just shocking to me. Corey LaJoy, who came in sideways, bless his heart, did finish 18th. So yeah, SVG, who I also saw trying to start a third line there for a little while, who was on his first, like, from what I could tell overall, he might have drove the Xfinity race too, finished 28th. So it was just rough. Just rough. And I will have to say, if you are on Twitter/X and you get a chance, you should definitely check out Carson's responses to some of the polls that are done on NASCAR, and how things are. I'll have to find it real quick. Let me see if I can find what it is, because Carson responds to polls on how well races went, and he Jeff Glucks does like a poll every week on how the race was, and Carson generally comes back and writes a paragraph or two on the race. And I have to give Carson props for his hilariousness for it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Oh, it had 73 lead changes. That's insane. That's super insane for Talladega. I just can't believe it. Maybe it's not Jeff. Maybe it's Jordan. Let me look. It's one of them. I'm losing it. Clearly. Still getting back to normal. But he literally writes a book and on how he felt the race went. And it's pretty well thought out. And I'm not mad at it. He does a pretty thorough review of the race for himself. So if you get a chance and you follow any of those on Twitter/X, definitely check it out. I think you'll be highly entertained. But we are at Dover Monster Mile for some racing. Eric Jones is out of the car. He is on a week-by-week basis. He has a compression fracture in his lower back. So he is just taking it week by week. Corey Hilm is his replacement for right now. So we will have to wait and just see how he heals, how long it takes for him to heal. That hurts. Sneezing, anything. Ouch. I feel for him. The G-force that he took is very similar to the crash that Ryan Blaney had at Daytona last summer. So extremely high. But they were also talking about Watkins Glen before we talk about Dover. They put in some bumps in a place at Watkins Glen, and people had some issues with it. And Kyle Larson brought in, he evidently wears a mouthpiece while he's racing, and this mouthpiece shows data and the G-forces from some of what they are feeling while they're in the car and portions of Watkins Glen's Raceway is very significant. So they're hoping some of these bumps that they're putting in will cause these G's to go down. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out, because I'm definitely not sure how. To me, it looks like if you hit it, it's going to be worse or cost you to blow a tire out. But that's just me. We do see Jimmy Johnson, though, back at Dover this weekend. So he is racing this weekend in our 400-mile race at Dover. It is a 1-mile track. Stage 1 ends at lap 120. Stage 2 at 250. The broadcast is on FS1. The race at 2 p.m. If you want to listen to pre-race coverage, it starts at 1 p.m. You want to listen to it. Because commercials are always one of the biggest gripes. Sirius XM, Channel 90, or PRN. So see 76 tomorrow so a beautiful day. No chance of rain. Last time NASCAR had to postpone the race until Monday, and NASCAR started from the pole, led 25 laps, and finished 21st. William Byron won stage 1 and led 193 laps before finishing 4th. Ross Chastain won stage 2, led 98 laps before finishing 2nd. Martin Truex Jr. led 68 laps of the final 69, passed Denny Hamlin with 11 laps to go, and won. So yeah. The green flag is set to wave at 2:11 tomorrow. Let's see. Kyle Busch is once again on the pole. Ryan Blaney is right beside him. William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Noah Gragson, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Michael McDowell, Alex Bowman, and AJ Allmendinger. Jimmy Johnson is starting 27th in the number 84. And let's see. Corey Helm is starting 32nd in the place of Eric Jones. We have 14 Chevrolets, 14 Fords, 9 Toyotas in the field of 37 cars. So enjoy some racing, enjoy the day, and I plan to see y'all next weekend. Bye, y'all.